A weak mind reacts to everything. A strong mind chooses how to respond and stays in control no matter what happens. You cannot live in peace if your emotions control your every move. The moment you stop letting your triggers win, you start becoming unshakable. Real power is not about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself when everything around you feels out of control. Most people live like they're being pushed around by their thoughts, emotions, and environment. But you can train your mind to stay calm, focused, and clear, even in the middle of stress and chaos. Today, we will discuss how to stop reacting, start choosing, and take charge of your mindset so that nothing can break your inner strength. This is how you stop being controlled and finally start leading yourself with purpose and confidence. If you're ready to rise above distractions, take full command of your mind, and become unshakable, then let's dive in. Number 1. Train your thoughts before they control you. Most people wake up every morning and step right into a storm inside their own head. They open their eyes and the noise begins. Worries about money, stress from yesterday, doubts about the future, frustrations with people, guilt about what they didn't do, and fear of what's coming next. It's like your mind becomes this wild, chaotic space before you even put your feet on the floor. And you know what? Most people don't realize this one truth. Your thoughts are either training you or you're training them. There is no neutral ground. If you don't guide your mind, it will guide you, and not always where you want to go. And here's the part nobody talks about enough. Your thoughts shape your actions, your mood, your decisions, and your future. That's not a theory. That's your real life. If you don't train your thoughts, they'll run on autopilot. And that autopilot? It's usually built from years of fear, pain, bad habits, and unchecked influence from other people. You start reacting to everything and everyone. You get angry fast, you get discouraged easily, you second-guess yourself constantly. You live in a reactive state, always on edge, always feeling like life is happening to you. That's a mental prison, and the door is open, but you have to walk out. And the only way out is this. You must take control of your mind before it takes control of you. This doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen overnight. But it begins with awareness. You have to become aware of how you're thinking. You need to pause and catch yourself when your mind starts running the same old pattern again. You know the one where you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, or it's always going to be like this, or why bother trying? These aren't facts. They're just thoughts. But if you believe them, they shape your whole life like they're written in stone. You must become the observer of your own thoughts. Stop getting pulled around by every emotion, every fear, every worry. You're stronger than that, but strength isn't automatic. It's built. You train it like a muscle. When your thoughts start spiraling, stop and question them. Don't just accept them. Ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? That one question can shift your entire day. You're not supposed to be a victim of your mind. You're supposed to be the leader of it. And let me tell you something real. This isn't about ignoring your problems or pretending everything's fine. That's not power. Power is facing your thoughts head-on and deciding which ones get to stay. Power is noticing when your thoughts are pulling you down and having the discipline to say, not today. Train your thoughts the same way you'd train a wild dog. With time, with focus, with consistency. You don't wait for them to behave. You guide them. You redirect them over and over again until they follow your lead. This is about mental discipline. It's about not letting every negative thought run wild in your head like it owns the place. Because if you let them, they'll steal your peace, your confidence, and your future. And here's the cost. Every moment you spend reacting to those old patterns is a moment you could be building a stronger version of yourself. But it starts now. It starts with a choice. The world will always throw things at you. Traffic, rejection, bad news, unfair situations. That's life. But how you think about those things will decide whether they make you bitter or better. You need to become unshakable, not because life is easy, but because your mind is trained. Trained to stay calm. Trained to stay focused. Trained to stay in charge. Most people live their lives with no filter on their thinking. Any thought that pops in just stays. That's dangerous. You wouldn't let a stranger walk into your home and start yelling at you, but you let your own thoughts do that every day. Train your mind to shut the door on thoughts that don't serve you. Shut the door on self-doubt. Shut the door on fear that's not based in truth. Shut the door on every voice in your head that tells you you're not enough. Because you are. But you need to believe it. And belief starts with thought. Every day you've got to do mental reps. That's right, just like going to the gym. Catch yourself thinking negative. Interrupt it. Replace it. Say, that thought's not useful, and move on. You may have to do it 100 times a day at first. But if you stay consistent, you'll start noticing a shift. You'll feel more in control. You'll feel stronger, more centered. That's the reward for training your thoughts. It's not just about feeling better. It's about taking your power back. Stop waiting for motivation to show up. Discipline yourself to take control, even when you don't feel like it. Especially then, the real power shows up when you take charge of your thoughts in the middle of chaos. In the middle of doubt. In the middle of pain. That's when leaders are built. That's when resilience is born. And you're not just capable of that, you're built for it. Think about this. Every powerful person you admire didn't get there by chance. They trained their mind. They trained it to stay focused when others panicked. To stay calm when things got hard. To choose faith over fear. Not because it was easy, but because they practiced daily. You've got the same power in you. But you have to develop it. No one can do it for you. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You'll still have bad days. You'll still feel overwhelmed sometimes. But when your mind is trained, you bounce back faster. You respond better. You don't spiral. You stay grounded in who you are and where you're going. That's what makes you unshakable. You don't rise by chance, you rise by choice. Train your thoughts. Speak to yourself with strength. Be the voice in your head that says, I can handle this. I'm not giving up. I'm in control of what happens next. Say it until your mind believes it. Say it until your actions reflect it. Say it until it becomes who you are. Your thoughts are the first battlefield. Win there and the rest of your life follows. You want peace? Train your mind. You want power? Train your mind. You want clarity, confidence, purpose? Train your mind. Before anything else, this is where your fight begins. You're not stuck. You're just untrained. And training starts now. Number 2, create daily rituals to master your emotions. Most people go through their days on edge. They wake up already behind, already stressed, already tired of the noise in their own life. They don't know why they snap at people they love. They don't understand why small things break their spirit. They live reacting to life, trying to catch up, trying to hold it together. And the truth is, they never built a system to protect their emotional state. They never set up a structure, a daily way of living that helps them manage how they feel. So every day feels like a storm, and they're in the middle of it with no shelter. And here's the truth. If you don't create daily rituals that center you, life will keep pushing you around. The world won't stop to give you peace. You have to claim it. Your emotions are not random. They are built on your habits. They're connected to your patterns, your environment, the way you begin your mornings, the way you close your nights. People think emotional strength is something you're born with. It's not. It's built day by day, decision by decision. And if you don't create daily rituals that support your mental and emotional health, then your emotions will control your choices, your relationships, your energy, and eventually your future. It starts with how you begin your day. If the first thing you do is grab your phone, scroll through messages, look at the news, or check social media, you're not starting your day, you're letting the world start it for you. And that means your emotions are already being shaped by things outside your control. You need to protect the first moments of your day like they're sacred, because they are. That first 10 to 15 minutes when you wake up is when your mind is most open, most sensitive. And if you fill it with noise, anxiety, and distraction, your emotional state becomes unstable before your feet even hit the ground. Build a morning ritual that centers you. Maybe it's sitting quietly in silence for 5 minutes. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's reading something that inspires you. Maybe it's just breathing deeply and reminding yourself of what matters. But you need something that brings you back to yourself. Something that reminds you that you're in charge of your day, not the messages, not the emails, not the demands, not the drama. When you create daily rituals, you're not trying to make life perfect. You're building a foundation, a place inside yourself where you can come back to when things get messy. Because they will. Life doesn't cooperate with your plans. People will disappoint you. You'll get tired. You'll get frustrated. You'll have bad days. But when you have daily habits that anchor your mind, you don't collapse every time something goes wrong. You stay grounded. These rituals don't have to be long or complex, but they have to be intentional. That's the key. You must choose them with purpose. Maybe your ritual is a short walk without your phone. Maybe it's listening to music that lifts you. Maybe it's drinking your coffee in silence instead of rushing through it. What matters is not how big the ritual is, it's that it happens every day, and that it brings your focus back to your inner world. Because that's where your strength is. Think about how many emotional decisions you've made when you were tired, stressed, or angry. How many conversations you regret. How many times you gave up on something too soon. That's what happens when you don't train your emotions. You lose control. And the sad part is, it becomes normal. You get used to being overwhelmed. You get used to snapping. You get used to feeling out of sync. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You can build a better way to live. And it starts with the small daily things you do to care for your mind. Emotional mastery isn't about always feeling happy. It's not about pretending bad things don't happen. It's about building the strength to face your emotions honestly without being consumed by them. And that strength comes from repetition, from doing the work daily, even when you don't feel like it. Especially then. That's what builds resilience. That's what makes you steady. When others panic, you stay calm. Not because you're lucky, but because you've trained yourself to stay centered. Nighttime rituals matter just as much. Most people go to bed carrying the weight of the entire day. They replay every mistake. They worry about tomorrow. They bring stress into their sleep. And then they wonder why they wake up anxious. You need to close your day with intention. Take 10 minutes at night to reset. Write down what went well. Write down what you need to let go of. Remind yourself that not everything has to be solved tonight. Give your mind permission to rest. Sleep is not a luxury, it's where your body and mind recover. Protect it. When you master your emotional habits, you change how you live. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop being a victim of your mood. You become the kind of person who chooses peace even in the middle of chaos. And people feel it. They trust your energy. They respect your discipline. They admire your calm. But none of that happens without the rituals behind it. You're not supposed to figure it all out in one day. That's not the point. The point is to show up daily for your own well-being, to stop abandoning yourself when life gets hard, to stop waiting for motivation or good vibes, to start doing what makes you stronger even when it's simple, even when it feels small, because it all adds up. The way you start your morning, the way you end your day, the way you check in with yourself throughout it builds emotional muscle. Don't wait for the breakdown to start building your foundation. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed to try and find peace. Build the peace now. Build the strength now. Build the habits now. Because one day you'll face a challenge that shakes you. And when that moment comes, the work you've done daily will be the reason you're able to stand tall. That's what these rituals are for. They're your preparation, your protection, your power. And here's the thing, it's your responsibility. No one's going to create these habits for you. No one's going to hand you peace of mind. You have to decide that you're worth showing up for every single day, that your emotional health matters, that how you feel is worth protecting. You've got one mind, one body, one life. Build a system that supports it. Most people never stop to ask, what does my mind need today? Or, what habits help me stay calm and clear? They just push through. But you're not meant to live in survival mode. You're meant to thrive. And thriving begins with small, consistent, daily choices that put your mental and emotional well-being first. That's not selfish. That's smart. That's strategic. That's strength. Build your rituals. Protect your peace. Train your emotions. And do it every single day, not just when it's easy. Because when life gets hard, that's when the rituals matter most. Number 3. Pause and breathe deeply before reacting to triggers. Many people live their lives caught in a cycle of instant reaction. Something happens, a sharp word from a coworker, a frustrating delay, an unexpected problem, and their emotions flare up immediately. Anger, anxiety, fear, or frustration rush in before they can even think. This quick automatic reaction often causes more damage than the original event. Relationships get strained, opportunities slip away, confidence shrinks, and the worst part, most don't realize how much power they're handing away to their impulses. They're giving control of their peace and happiness to outside forces without even knowing it. Life doesn't have to be that way. The moment before you react is your greatest opportunity. It's the gap between what happens and how you respond. It's the space where you can take back control. But few people ever learn to use this moment. Instead, they get swept away by emotion and later regret what they said or did. The reality is, no one can control what happens to them every second, but everyone can learn to control what happens inside them every second. That control begins with a simple act: pausing and breathing. This is not about being robotic or suppressing your feelings. It's about creating a natural human habit that stops automatic reactions. When you pause, you give yourself a moment to see clearly. When you breathe deeply, you calm the flood of adrenaline that makes your heart race and your mind spiral. This simple pause and breath reset your system so you can respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. When life throws a trigger at you, your body immediately reacts. Your heart pounds, your muscles tense, your mind races. This reaction comes from an old survival mechanism designed to protect you from danger. But in modern life, this reflex often works against you. It makes you react harshly to someone cutting you off in traffic or explode over a mistake at work. These moments aren't life or death, yet your body reacts as if they are. The solution isn't to ignore your feelings or pretend they don't exist. The solution is to slow everything down with your breath. Breathing deeply engages your nervous system in a way that shifts you from stress mode to calm mode. It lowers your heart rate, reduces tension, and clears your mind. When you breathe deeply, you activate your body's natural ability to relax. This gives you the clarity to choose your response rather than be driven by raw emotion. Many people underestimate how powerful this habit is because it's so simple. But it's the foundation for emotional control and mental strength. This habit interrupts the autopilot reaction that has cost many their peace, their relationships, and even their health. When you pause and breathe before reacting, you create a space where logic and calmness can guide you. You can weigh your options. You can decide what kind of person you want to be in that moment. Building this habit takes practice and commitment. The first time you try to pause and breathe, your mind may resist. It might feel awkward or uncomfortable. Your instinct might push you to react quickly to get it over with. But that instinct isn't serving you. The more you practice pausing and breathing, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, it turns into your default response. When triggered, your mind will automatically reach for that breath and that pause. You'll no longer be a passenger on the emotional roller coaster, you'll be the driver. The beauty of this practice is that it works anywhere, anytime, and with any trigger. You don't need special equipment or a quiet room. Whether you're in a meeting, at home, or stuck in traffic, a pause and a deep breath can reset your emotional state. Over time, you'll notice how fewer situations escalate. Your conversations become calmer. Your decisions become clearer. Your energy stays steadier throughout the day. This habit also builds your confidence. When you realize that you can choose your response instead of letting feelings run wild, you start to trust yourself more. You begin to understand that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are the ruler of your mind. That shift in mindset transforms how you experience life. Instead of feeling overwhelmed and reactive, you become composed and intentional. One key to mastering this is to link the pause and breath to physical triggers in your environment. For example, if you notice your body tightening or your heart racing, immediately pause. Take 3 deep breaths before you speak or act. If someone says something hurtful, instead of snapping back, pause. Feel the breath fill your lungs slowly and fully. Let your mind catch up with your emotions. You'll find that many situations lose their power over you when you do this. There's a reason many top performers, leaders, and wise individuals emphasize breath control. It's not some mystical trick. It's science. Your breath is the bridge between your body and mind. When you control your breath, you control your nervous system. And when you control your nervous system, you control your reactions. This habit also guards against burnout. Reacting impulsively to every challenge or setback drains your energy fast. It keeps your body in a constant state of tension and your mind spinning with stress. Pausing and breathing interrupts this cycle. It allows your body to rest and your mind to reset. This preservation of energy is essential for long-term success and happiness. Many people want to be calm and in control, but they overlook this simple step. They jump from stimulus to reaction without stopping. The difference between reacting and responding is the pause. This pause is your power. It's the quiet strength behind every person who doesn't let the world drag them down. It's what separates those who master their emotions from those who let emotions master them. It takes courage to pause. In a fast-paced world, pausing feels like falling behind or losing control. But true control is not speed, it's presence. It's the ability to be fully aware and choose your next move. This practice teaches patience with yourself and the world. It creates a mental space where calmness and clarity reside. No one is immune to triggers. Everyone has moments where emotions surge. But what makes a difference is what you do in that moment. The strongest people don't react without thinking. They pause. They breathe. They choose. And that choice changes everything. When you start pausing and breathing before reacting, you become less controlled by chaos and more guided by clarity. You build a buffer between stimulus and response that gives you freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from stress. Freedom from being tossed around by life's ups and downs. This habit rewires your brain to respond with intention rather than impulse. Over time, it creates a foundation for deeper emotional mastery and mental peace. It allows you to face challenges with steadiness instead of panic. The challenge is to remember to do it. That's why repetition is essential. Make pausing and breathing a non-negotiable part of your daily life. Practice when things are calm, so it becomes second nature when things get tough. Build it into your routine until it becomes automatic. This simple action, pausing and breathing deeply, has the power to change your entire experience of life. It gives you control where before there was chaos. It gives you strength where before there was weakness. It makes you unshakable. Number 4. Visualize calm responses to stressful situations daily. Most people live with a hidden fear that when stress hits, they'll lose control. There's this constant worry that emotions will overwhelm them, that pressure will break them, or that they'll say or do something they regret. This fear quietly builds up inside and causes tension all day long. People often prepare for challenges by imagining worst-case scenarios, but rarely do they picture themselves handling difficulties with calm and confidence. What they don't realize is that the mind is incredibly powerful in shaping reality. How you mentally rehearse stress impacts how you actually respond when it comes. If you never imagine staying calm, chances are you won't. But if you practice seeing yourself respond with calmness and strength, your brain starts building that pathway for real life. Visualization is not just a tool for athletes or artists, it's for anyone who wants to rule their mind instead of being ruled by stress. Visualizing calm responses is like training your brain before the battle even begins. When you picture yourself reacting with composure, kindness, or patience, your mind rehearses the behavior. This mental rehearsal creates familiarity with calmness, making it easier to access in real moments. Think about it. When you've practiced something enough times in your mind, it feels less foreign when it actually happens. You're prepared because you've already been there mentally. Stressful situations won't seem as overwhelming because you've imagined a different outcome, a better outcome, before it even arrives. This practice starts with commitment. You need to set aside time each day to mentally step into scenarios that usually trigger stress or anxiety. Picture the exact scene. Imagine the people involved. Hear the words said. See the challenges clearly. But instead of reacting in panic, visualize yourself breathing deeply, speaking calmly, or simply staying quiet to collect your thoughts. See yourself smiling gently instead of snapping. See yourself making decisions without rushing. When you do this repeatedly, your brain begins to expect calmness as the natural response. Many people think visualization is daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's not. It's purposeful mental training. When you visualize, you engage your senses, what you see, hear, feel, and you create a strong mental image. This builds neural connections in your brain similar to actual experience. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the stronger the impact. Imagine feeling the tension in your shoulders and then releasing it. Feel your heart rate slowing. Hear your voice steady. Sense the calmness flowing through your body. The more sensory detail you include, the more real it becomes for your brain. Daily practice is essential. 1 or 2 times won't make a lasting difference. Just like any skill, mastery comes from repetition. Make it a habit. Set a few minutes each morning or evening to close your eyes and step through these mental rehearsals. This consistency rewires your brain to expect calmness under pressure, turning what once felt impossible into a natural response. The beauty of visualization is it gives you control before the situation even arrives. It reduces fear and anxiety by replacing them with confidence and preparedness. When you practice seeing yourself handle stress with grace, you stop fearing the unknown. You feel ready for whatever life throws your way. This mental preparation also creates a sense of empowerment. Instead of feeling helpless or like a victim of circumstances, you step into the role of the leader in your own story. You build the mindset that no matter what happens, you have the capacity to remain steady and clear-headed. This belief fuels action and resilience. Visualization isn't about denying the reality of stress or pretending everything will be easy. It's about training your mind to meet reality with strength. Stressful moments won't disappear, but your response to them can transform. When you see yourself handling difficulty calmly, you reduce the physical symptoms of stress, racing heart, shallow breathing, tight muscles, which helps you maintain control. Many people experience moments where their emotions run wild because they were never prepared to meet stress differently. They fall into old habits of frustration, anger, or anxiety because those are the patterns their brain knows. Visualization breaks those patterns by introducing a new script. You give your mind a fresh way to react. Another powerful aspect of this practice is how it builds patience. Stress often triggers rushed decisions or quick reactions. But when you visualize calm, you're training your brain to slow down, consider options, and choose wisely. This patience becomes your ally, allowing you to navigate challenges without adding to the chaos. You can visualize any situation that usually causes tension. Maybe it's a difficult conversation with a boss, a family conflict, or a stressful deadline. Run through the scene in your mind, but instead of letting it overwhelm you, see yourself stepping back, breathing deeply, and responding thoughtfully. Notice how your body feels more relaxed, your voice stays steady, and your mind stays clear. Make that your new reality. Over time, these mental rehearsals become a form of mental muscle memory. Your brain automatically recalls calm responses, making you less reactive and more in control. The practice also enhances emotional intelligence because you become more aware of your feelings and how to manage them proactively. This approach is different from trying to force calmness in the moment, which can feel impossible when adrenaline is high. Visualization prepares you before the moment arrives, so calmness becomes familiar and achievable. When real stress hits, your mind is ready with a practiced script. Many successful people credit visualization as a key factor in their ability to handle pressure. It's how they keep their composure when the stakes are high. They've already seen themselves succeed mentally, so their bodies follow naturally. The key is to be patient with yourself. This skill doesn't develop overnight. Some days the images will feel weak or scattered. Other days they'll be vivid and powerful. Keep practicing consistently. Trust the process. Every time you imagine calmness, you're strengthening your emotional foundation. Visualization is a powerful tool that turns stress from a threat into a challenge you can meet. It rewires your brain to expect peace, clarity, and control even when life feels overwhelming. This daily mental exercise sets you apart from those who live at the mercy of their emotions. You're not helpless in the face of stress. You can create a mental space of calmness that guides your actions. You can prepare your mind to respond with strength, steadiness, and grace. When stress comes, and it will, you will already know how to meet it. This practice transforms your entire experience of life. It builds confidence, reduces anxiety, and empowers you to rule your mind instead of being ruled by fear. The power to change your response lies within your mind, and daily visualization unlocks that power. Number 5. Replace negative self-talk with powerful affirmations. Too many people live trapped in a constant loop of negative self-talk. It's that quiet voice inside that whispers doubt, fear, and criticism at every turn. It tells you you're not good enough, you'll fail, or that you don't deserve success. This voice is relentless, and it's often louder than any external criticism you might face. The harsh reality is this negative chatter chips away at your confidence and steals your peace. It controls your emotions more than you realize and often sets you up for failure before you even begin. Most people don't see how harmful their inner dialogue is because it feels normal. But it's not normal to live under the weight of constant self-judgment. It's a heavy burden that drains your energy and keeps you from becoming unshakable. The power of the mind is undeniable, and the way you talk to yourself shapes your experience of life. If you fill your mind with criticism and fear, you're training yourself to expect defeat and struggle. On the other hand, if you feed your mind with encouragement and strength, you build a foundation for resilience and success. This is why replacing negative self-talk with powerful affirmations is one of the most important habits to develop. Affirmations are simple statements that reinforce your worth, ability, and potential. They are tools to consciously direct your thoughts toward positivity and confidence. Changing the habit of negative self-talk is not easy, but it is possible. It starts with awareness. Notice the moments when your inner voice turns harsh or doubtful. Pay attention to the words you say silently to yourself during difficult moments. This awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle. When you catch a negative thought, don't let it pass without challenge. Instead, consciously replace it with a positive affirmation that speaks to your strength and ability. For example, if your mind says, "I can't handle this," replace it with, "I am capable of overcoming challenges." If it says, "I always fail," replace it with, "I learn and grow from every experience." Affirmations need to be personal, positive, and present tense. Avoid phrases that focus on what you don't want. Instead of saying, "I won't be afraid," say, "I am confident and calm." Your brain responds best to positive, present-focused statements. When you repeat affirmations regularly, your brain begins to accept them as truth. This rewires your thought patterns and strengthens your belief in yourself. Incorporating affirmations into your daily routine is crucial. It's not enough to say them once and hope for change. Repetition is the key to transformation. Say your affirmations out loud each morning, look yourself in the mirror, and speak with conviction. Write them down and place them where you'll see them often, on your desk, your bathroom mirror, or your phone wallpaper. The more you immerse yourself in these positive messages, the more they sink in. The emotional power behind affirmations matters as much as the words themselves. When you say an affirmation, connect to the feeling you want to create. Feel the confidence swelling inside. Sense the calmness washing over you. Picture the success unfolding. When your affirmations are backed by feeling, they become magnetic. They move beyond words and start to change your emotional reality. Replacing negative self-talk isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your mindset to one that supports growth and resilience. When you affirm your strength, you prepare yourself to face challenges with a mindset of possibility rather than defeat. This creates a mental environment where your best self can emerge. This habit also protects your mental health. Negative self-talk can spiral into anxiety and depression. Affirmations provide a buffer. They interrupt destructive thought loops and restore a sense of hope and control. The more you nurture this habit, the more you build emotional stamina to handle stress and setbacks. The challenge is consistency. Your brain is wired to notice negativity more than positivity because of survival instincts. This means negative thoughts will keep trying to creep back in. But with persistent practice, affirmations gain strength and start to drown out the negative noise. Eventually, your mind will default to supportive, encouraging thoughts. It helps to create affirmations that resonate deeply with your personal goals and values. If success feels important, use affirmations like, "I am worthy of success," and embrace every step forward. If calmness is your goal, say, "I remain peaceful and steady in every situation." Tailoring affirmations to your life creates a powerful connection and makes them more effective. Sharing your affirmations with others can deepen their impact. Speaking your positive beliefs aloud in front of friends, mentors, or a coach can reinforce your commitment and create accountability. Surround yourself with people who support and encourage your positive mindset. Another tip is to be patient with yourself. Old negative beliefs may have been building for years, so they won't disappear overnight. When negative thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment, then gently return to your affirmations. This practice trains your mind to shift focus without creating inner conflict. Replacing negative self-talk with affirmations changes how you experience challenges. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or defeated, you begin to see opportunities for growth and learning. You build confidence that fuels action and resilience. Your emotions become steadier and your mental energy increases. This habit leads to a powerful transformation in how you view yourself. When you consistently affirm your value and capability, you stop seeking external approval and validation. You develop inner strength that no one can take away. This is the foundation of becoming unshakable. Affirmations are not magic, but they are mighty tools. They require dedication, belief, and practice. As you strengthen this habit, your mind becomes your ally instead of your enemy. You rewrite the story you tell yourself and open the door to greater peace and success. The journey to ruling your mind starts here. By replacing negative self-talk with powerful affirmations, you take control of your inner dialogue. You quiet doubt, reduce fear, and build an unbreakable confidence that carries you through any storm. This is the path to becoming truly unshakable. Number 6. Journal your reactions and find their root causes. It's a tough truth that many people live reacting to life without truly understanding why they feel or act the way they do. You know that feeling when something happens, a comment, a situation, a setback, and suddenly you're flooded with anger, anxiety, or sadness. Most people just ride that wave of emotion without stopping to ask where it really came from. The truth is, if you never dig deeper into your reactions, you remain at the mercy of your feelings, like a ship tossed by storms without a rudder. The key to becoming unshakable isn't just about controlling your responses in the moment. It's about understanding what's beneath those reactions. Why does a certain word trigger pain? Why does a particular situation make you anxious? Without uncovering these root causes, you'll keep reacting in the same way, trapped in patterns that drain your energy and steal your peace. Journaling your reactions is a powerful and practical way to gain that understanding. Writing down what you feel and why you think you feel it pulls you out of autopilot and brings clarity to your mind. When you put pen to paper, you slow down the rush of emotion and give your brain space to reflect. This practice isn't about simply listing what happened. It's about peeling back the layers to find the real source of your emotional responses. Start by recording specific moments throughout your day that stirred a strong reaction in you, whether it was frustration, jealousy, fear, or anything else. Describe the event clearly. What was said or done? Who was involved? Then write down exactly how you felt in your body. Did your chest tighten? Did your hands clench? Did your mind race? Naming the physical sensations connects you to the experience deeply and anchors your awareness in the present. Next, go deeper by asking yourself why you reacted that way. What past experiences might be influencing your feelings? Was there a similar situation in your childhood or earlier life where you felt hurt or powerless? This step requires honesty and courage because it often brings up uncomfortable truths. But it's those uncomfortable truths that hold the key to freedom. Many emotional reactions are echoes of old wounds or unresolved fears. By identifying them, you take the first step toward healing. The power of journaling lies in making the invisible visible. Emotions and triggers live inside your mind like unseen currents pulling you in certain directions. Writing shines a light on those currents, helping you understand their patterns and origins. Once you know the cause of your reactions, you gain power over them. Instead of feeling like a victim of your emotions, you become an observer who understands the story behind your feelings. This awareness also creates distance between you and your emotions. When you journal, you separate your true self from the reaction. You realize that the angry, anxious, or fearful part of you is not who you fully are. It's just a response shaped by past experiences. This shift is crucial because it gives you the space to choose a different response rather than reacting out of habit. Regular journaling develops emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions effectively. It helps you spot patterns in your thinking and behavior that might otherwise go unnoticed. You might discover that certain people or situations always trigger the same negative feelings. With this insight, you can prepare yourself or set boundaries that protect your peace. Writing your reactions also offers a safe space to express feelings you might hesitate to share with others. Sometimes emotions build up because they have no outlet, and journaling becomes a private release valve. This can reduce the intensity of feelings and prevent them from boiling over in harmful ways. Over time, journaling becomes a form of self-coaching. You learn to ask yourself powerful questions. What can I learn from this reaction? How can I respond differently next time? What does this feeling tell me about what I value or need? These questions guide you toward growth and maturity, turning emotional challenges into opportunities. The process of journaling requires commitment. It's not a one-time fix, but a continuous journey. Make it a habit to reflect on your day each evening or whenever strong emotions arise. The more consistent you are, the more you build a detailed map of your inner world. This map is invaluable because it helps you navigate life with greater awareness and control. When journaling, don't judge yourself for what you find. Many people feel shame or guilt when confronting their deepest emotions. Instead, approach your writing with kindness and curiosity. Remember, the goal is not to criticize but to understand and grow. Compassion toward yourself fuels healing. Journaling also encourages you to track progress. As you explore your reactions over weeks and months, you'll notice changes. Some triggers will lose their power. New ways of responding will emerge. You'll become less reactive and more thoughtful. This growth reinforces your sense of control and calm. In moments of extreme stress, your journal can be a lifeline. You can look back at past entries and remind yourself that you have faced difficult feelings before and survived. You can recall strategies that helped you stay grounded. This reinforces resilience and helps you remain steady even when life feels overwhelming. Another benefit of journaling is that it sharpens your decision-making. Emotional reactions often cloud judgment and lead to impulsive actions. Writing about your feelings helps clear that fog. When you slow down and articulate your thoughts, you see situations more clearly. This clarity leads to wiser choices that align with your true values. Some people resist journaling because they believe their minds are too busy or their feelings too confusing, but that's exactly why it's needed. The clutter in your mind only grows until you make space for clarity. Journaling creates that space and organizes your thoughts in a way that calms your inner chaos. It's important to keep your journal private and honest. Write without censorship. Allow your true feelings to come out on the page. This authenticity builds trust between you and yourself, strengthening your inner foundation. Through journaling, you begin to notice connections between your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. You see how certain beliefs fuel your reactions. You identify where negative self-talk may be hiding behind emotional outbursts. This awareness empowers you to challenge old beliefs and rewrite your mental script. In the end, journaling is more than just a writing exercise. It's a path to self-discovery and emotional mastery. It moves you beyond reaction into reflection, beyond confusion into understanding. It prepares your mind to rule your emotions instead of being ruled by them. By investing time in this practice, you build a powerful tool for mental strength. You become less vulnerable to sudden emotional storms because you know where they come from and how to navigate them. Your mind becomes a place of calm insight rather than chaotic noise. This deep self-knowledge is a foundation for becoming truly unshakable. You stop being a passenger in your emotional life and become the captain steering your course with clarity and purpose. Journaling your reactions uncovers the roots of your feelings, and from that place of understanding, you grow the strength to respond with wisdom and peace. Number 7. Focus only on what you can truly control. Life throws countless challenges at everyone. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, like everything around you is spinning out of control. The truth is, most people spend their energy worrying about things they have no power over. This is a hard reality that many ignore. Stress piles up when your mind fixates on external events, other people's actions, or circumstances beyond your reach. The result is frustration, helplessness, and emotional exhaustion. But here's the hard fact. No matter how much you try, you cannot control everything. Accepting this is the first step toward becoming unshakable. Focusing only on what you can truly control means shifting your attention inward. It means understanding that your thoughts, choices, and actions are the only things you can direct fully. The moment you stop wasting energy on things outside your influence, you gain clarity and strength. This focus creates mental space, allowing you to respond to life calmly instead of reacting wildly. Start by identifying what lies within your control. Your attitude is one of those things. No one can make you feel a certain way unless you allow it. Your perspective shapes your experience, and that is always your decision. Your effort is another area under your control. How hard you work, the habits you build, and the consistency you maintain all depend on you. Your time is yours to manage. How you spend your minutes and hours can change the trajectory of your life. By honing in on these aspects, you take ownership of your growth and happiness. This ownership breaks the cycle of helplessness. Instead of blaming external events or people for your mood or success, you accept responsibility. Responsibility empowers. It means you are not a passive victim but an active creator. It's natural to want to control outcomes, but that desire often leads to frustration because outcomes depend on many factors outside your reach. Instead, focus on the inputs, the actions you take. Results will follow in their own time. When your mind is occupied with inputs, you find peace in knowing you did your part, no matter what happens next. A simple yet powerful tool to reinforce this focus is to ask yourself regularly, is this something I can control? When a worry or thought comes up, analyze it. If the answer is no, don't invest emotional energy in it. Let it go. If the answer is yes, then make a plan or take a step forward. This habit trains your mind to separate facts from fears and directs your attention productively. Learning this skill also helps you maintain calm during uncertainty. Life's unpredictability causes stress, but when you anchor yourself in what you can control, you reduce anxiety. You realize that while you can't dictate every event, you can control how you prepare and respond. This mindset shifts your relationship with problems. Instead of seeing obstacles as threats, you see them as challenges within your ability to handle. This confidence builds resilience and reduces feelings of being overwhelmed. Focusing on what you can control also improves your relationships. You stop trying to change others or control their behavior. Instead, you work on your own responses and boundaries. This reduces conflict and promotes healthier interactions. When faced with disappointment or failure, this focus keeps you grounded. You don't waste time ruminating on what went wrong outside your control. Instead, you assess your actions honestly and identify what you can do differently next time. This forward-looking attitude fuels growth. The habit of control focus leads to better decision-making. You learn to invest time and effort where it counts, instead of spreading yourself thin. Your priorities become clearer and your energy sharper. It's important to recognize that focusing on control does not mean ignoring reality or becoming passive. It means accepting reality as it is and directing your power where it can make a difference. This acceptance is not defeat but wisdom. This approach reduces the emotional turmoil caused by feeling powerless. Powerlessness is often a result of trying to control the uncontrollable. When you release that urge, peace emerges naturally. Living with this mindset brings freedom. You free yourself from the burden of impossible expectations and endless worry. Your mind becomes a sanctuary of calm and clarity. Practicing this focus daily builds mental discipline. You become skilled at filtering distractions and emotional noise. This skill strengthens your mind's capacity to handle stress and adversity. A practical way to reinforce this is by journaling your daily concerns and sorting them into what you can control and what you cannot. This exercise creates awareness and promotes intentional focus. Another way is to set daily intentions centered on your choices and actions, not outcomes. For example, deciding to give your best effort or to respond kindly regardless of others' behavior. It's normal to struggle with letting go of control over external things. The mind is wired to seek certainty, but growth comes from learning to trust yourself even when outcomes are uncertain. This trust comes from confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes. It's built through experience and reflection on past successes, where you focused on your actions and managed difficult situations. Remember, your peace and power grow as you deepen this focus. Worry loses its grip and frustration fades because you no longer pour energy into what drains you. In time, your mind becomes steady like a well-tuned instrument, responding thoughtfully rather than reacting chaotically. This steadiness creates an unshakable foundation for every area of your life. The most successful and peaceful people share this secret. They master their focus on what they can control. They accept uncertainty without panic and move forward with deliberate actions. This mindset is not just about coping, but thriving. It's about turning your attention from helplessness to hope, from confusion to clarity. By continually practicing this focus, you build a mental fortress. You become a person who stands firm no matter what storms arise, because you anchor yourself in what you can shape and influence. This focus empowers you to take daily steps that lead to real progress. Each action, though small, compounds over time into significant change. In the end, the power to rule your mind begins with this simple yet profound choice: to invest your energy only where it can make a difference. When you do this consistently, you become truly unshakable. Number 8. Practice mindfulness to anchor yourself in the moment. Most people go through life as if their mind is somewhere else entirely. It might be stuck in yesterday's regrets or tangled up in tomorrow's worries. This scattered thinking is exhausting and keeps the mind unsettled. When your mind is always racing ahead or dragging you back, it's impossible to be calm or focused. This disconnection from the present moment is one of the biggest reasons people feel overwhelmed and out of control. The truth is that your peace and power begin the moment you learn to anchor yourself in the here and now. Mindfulness is that anchor. Mindfulness means paying attention on purpose, without judgment, to what is happening right now. It sounds simple, but it's not easy. Your mind will resist. It will want to run off into stories, judgments, fears, or fantasies. But each time you bring your focus back to this present moment, you build strength. You create a calm center inside yourself that no external chaos can shake. People live with a noisy mind that never stops talking. Thoughts rush through like traffic on a busy street. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to observe those thoughts without getting caught up in them. You see them pass by instead of chasing after everyone. This shift creates space, a quiet space inside that allows you to breathe freely instead of suffocating in mental clutter. Anchoring yourself in the moment does not mean ignoring problems or responsibilities. It means facing them with a clear mind instead of a clouded one. When you are mindful, you respond to life's demands with awareness rather than reacting blindly. This awareness is a powerful tool for self-control. Mindfulness sharpens your senses. You begin to notice the little things: the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of birds outside, the texture of the chair beneath you. These sensations ground you and remind you that you are alive right now. This experience breaks the cycle of worrying about the past or future because your attention is fully on what is real and immediate. Many people think mindfulness requires hours of meditation or special skills. That's not true. Mindfulness can be practiced anytime, in the middle of a busy day, while washing dishes, walking, or even waiting in line. It's about bringing gentle attention to whatever you are doing without distraction. One practical way to start is by focusing on your breath. Breath is always with you. It's a natural rhythm that anchors your awareness. When the mind wanders, notice your breathing. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. This simple act calms the nervous system and brings your mind home. Mindfulness also helps you catch the moment before you react. Instead of impulsively responding to stress, you become aware of the sensations and thoughts rising inside you. This awareness gives you the power to choose how to act, rather than being controlled by habit or emotion. When anxiety or anger start to bubble up, mindful breathing lowers the temperature. Your heart slows, muscles relax, and your mind clears. This shift changes the way you experience stress. Instead of being overwhelmed, you become an observer, able to navigate challenges with composure. Practicing mindfulness daily rewires your brain. Studies show it increases areas linked to emotional regulation and decreases those tied to stress and reactivity. This physical change explains why consistent mindfulness creates lasting calm and resilience. It's important to approach mindfulness with kindness toward yourself. The mind will wander. You will get distracted. That's normal. The goal isn't to have a perfectly quiet mind, but to keep returning your attention gently when it drifts. Each return strengthens your mental muscle. Mindfulness expands your awareness beyond your own mind. You begin to notice the feelings and energy in your body, the sounds around you, and the environment you are in. This expanded awareness connects you to life more fully, reducing feelings of isolation and frustration. When difficult emotions arise, mindfulness teaches you to experience them fully, without avoidance or judgment. You observe sadness, fear, or anger as passing waves instead of permanent states. This observation reduces their power over you and prevents them from triggering reactive behavior. Another powerful aspect of mindfulness is the practice of acceptance. Accepting the present moment as it is, without wishing it were different, releases resistance. Resistance creates tension and suffering. Acceptance opens the door to peace, even in challenging situations. You don't need to solve every problem or fix every feeling in the moment. Mindfulness is about being present with whatever is there and trusting that clarity and solutions will come with calm attention. To develop mindfulness, set aside time each day for formal practice, even if it's just a few minutes. Sit quietly, focus on your breath or bodily sensations, and observe your thoughts. This daily habit builds a strong foundation for anchoring yourself throughout the day. Incorporate informal mindfulness by bringing awareness to routine activities. Notice the taste and texture of your food, the feeling of water on your skin during a shower, or the rhythm of your footsteps when walking. These moments, when fully experienced, add up to greater presence. Mindfulness improves your relationships as well. When you are fully present with others, listening without distraction or judgment, connection deepens. This presence fosters understanding and reduces conflict. Stressful situations become opportunities to practice mindfulness instead of triggers for panic. When tensions rise, a mindful pause allows you to step back and choose a thoughtful response. This shift changes the course of conversations and outcomes. The mental calm cultivated through mindfulness helps you sleep better, think more clearly, and make decisions with confidence. Your mind stops spinning with endless worries, allowing you to focus on what matters most. The journey toward mindfulness requires patience. It's not about perfection but persistence. Every time you bring your focus back to the present, you make a choice to strengthen your inner peace. As mindfulness becomes a habit, it transforms your relationship with life. You become less reactive and more intentional. You find joy in simple moments that were once overlooked. This practice roots you in reality, dissolving the illusions created by unchecked thoughts and emotions. This rooting provides stability, making you less vulnerable to external ups and downs. Ultimately, mindfulness is the key to ruling your mind rather than being ruled by it. It unlocks the ability to observe, understand, and direct your mental energy with wisdom. When you practice mindfulness, you stand firm amid chaos. Your mind is clear, focused, and calm. You are connected to the present moment, fully alive and able to choose your path. No matter what life throws at you, mindfulness gives you the strength to face it with grace and confidence. It is the foundation of an unshakable mind. Number 9. Challenge every thought that weakens your peace. Life often feels like a battle inside the mind. Every day, countless thoughts rush in, some bringing peace, others stirring unrest. Many people experience a flood of negative or self-doubting ideas that seem uncontrollable. These thoughts weigh heavily, dragging down confidence and stealing calm. The harsh truth is that most of us accept these thoughts as facts without question. We believe what we think, even when those thoughts are harmful or untrue. That acceptance is what keeps the mind restless and vulnerable. The only way to build a mind that cannot be shaken is to challenge every thought that weakens your peace. This starts with awareness. Notice the thoughts running through your head, especially those that trigger anxiety, fear, or frustration. These are the ones that weaken your foundation. Don't just let them flow through as if they're the weather. Treat them as ideas you can examine and test. Not all thoughts are true or helpful. Some are just habits or old programming that don't serve you today. When you recognize a negative or weakening thought, don't immediately believe it. Instead, ask yourself, is this thought really true? Does it help me or does it harm me? Most of the time, these thoughts are exaggerated or one-sided. Maybe you think, I'm not good enough, or things will never get better. When you challenge these ideas, you open the door to finding evidence that disproves them. Look at your past successes, your strengths, and the times you overcame difficulties. Remind yourself that a single thought or feeling does not define your entire reality. It's crucial to confront the way these thoughts make you feel physically and emotionally. Negative thoughts often trigger tightness in the chest, shallow breathing, or a sinking feeling in the stomach. When you notice these signs, use them as signals to step back and question what you are telling yourself. Breaking the automatic acceptance of negative thoughts weakens their grip and restores your peace. Another important step is replacing weakened thoughts with ones that build strength. When you challenge a negative belief, follow it by stating a fact or affirmation that supports your calm and confidence. For example, if the thought is, I will fail, challenge it by asking, what evidence do I have that I will succeed? And answer with your own proof. This practice rewires the mind over time, shifting your mental habits from fear and doubt toward confidence and clarity. The mind is like a muscle, it grows stronger with use. The more you practice challenging weak thoughts, the easier it becomes. Eventually, you will instinctively question anything that threatens your peace before it takes hold. This ability to catch and challenge thoughts is a form of mental leadership. You are no longer a passive victim of your mind's chatter, but an active commander of your thoughts. It is important to understand that challenging thoughts is not about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It is about refusing to accept distorted, unhelpful thinking as your truth. Life will bring difficulties and your mind will produce negative thoughts sometimes. The difference is in how you respond to them. Challenging weak thoughts gives you the power to stay grounded even when challenges arise. Often, weak thoughts stem from fear, the fear of failure, rejection, or loss. Fear creates stories that feed on themselves, trapping you in cycles of worry. By questioning these stories, you reveal their weak foundation. Fear loses power when faced with clear, rational examination. This does not mean you ignore emotions, but rather that you do not let unexamined fear control your decisions and reactions. One practical way to challenge your thoughts is to write them down. When a troubling thought appears, capture it on paper. Then, write down the reasons why that thought may be false or misleading. This process externalizes your inner voice and makes it easier to analyze. Writing also slows down your thinking, giving you time to reflect instead of reacting impulsively. This habit of questioning thoughts also improves decision-making. When you act on negative or anxious thoughts without scrutiny, choices are often clouded by emotion and fear. When you challenge those thoughts, you bring clarity and calm, leading to wiser decisions that support your long-term well-being. The power of challenging thoughts extends into your relationships too. Many conflicts arise because of unchecked negative assumptions or fears about others. When you examine those thoughts instead of accepting them, you reduce misunderstandings and respond more calmly and fairly. This shift creates stronger connections and less emotional turmoil. Challenging thoughts requires courage. It means facing uncomfortable beliefs and refusing to be ruled by them. It takes honesty to recognize when your thoughts are working against you, and patience to gradually change those patterns. But the reward is immense, a mind that stays steady when life feels uncertain. As you build this skill, you will notice your inner dialogue changing. The voice inside becomes less critical and more supportive. You'll find a greater sense of control because you decide which thoughts to believe and which to let go. This practice also fosters self-compassion. When you challenge negative thoughts, you often uncover harsh judgments you've held against yourself. Replacing those judgments with kindness helps heal old wounds and builds lasting peace. One final point is that challenging thoughts is a lifelong practice. The mind will always generate ideas, some helpful, some harmful. The difference is that now you have the tools to sort through them wisely. Each time you question a thought, you take a step toward ruling your mind rather than being ruled by it. This ongoing commitment transforms your relationship with your own thinking. You become an observer, a critic, and a guide for your mental landscape. This is true mental freedom, the ability to decide what deserves your attention and what drains your energy. This ability to challenge every thought that weakens your peace creates an unshakable foundation. It allows you to remain calm, clear, and confident no matter what life throws your way. Your mind becomes a source of strength, not a battlefield of chaos. The mind that questions its own weaknesses commands respect. It refuses to be a victim of fear, doubt, or negative self-talk. Instead, it holds power by knowing its own truth and rejecting lies that harm. Every time a troubling thought arises and you challenge it, you prove that your peace is stronger than any fear. This is the essence of becoming unshakable, stopping reactive patterns and starting to rule your mind with wisdom and courage. Number 10. Make stillness a daily, non-negotiable mental habit. Every day, millions of people rush through life with a mind that never stops. The constant noise, endless tasks, and swirling worries create a storm inside the head that never settles. The truth is, this mental chaos breaks down focus, drains energy, and steals peace. Most people never realize how powerful stillness can be, or they treat it like an occasional luxury instead of a necessity. The reality is that making stillness a daily non-negotiable habit is one of the strongest ways to become unshakable. It is not a luxury, it is survival for your mind and spirit. Stillness is not about doing nothing out of boredom or avoidance. It is about intentionally creating space where the mind can rest, breathe, and reset. When the world pulls you in 100 directions, stillness becomes your anchor. It is the calm center that holds steady no matter what storms rage around you. Without stillness, your mind stays scattered, reactive, and exhausted. With stillness, clarity grows, emotions balance, and decisions become clear. Most people are uncomfortable with stillness because it reveals what's really going on inside. When the noise quiets, uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, or fears may rise. It takes courage to sit with those moments instead of running away. But by doing so, you gain control. You become aware of your inner landscape instead of being dragged around by it. Making stillness a daily habit means setting aside time every single day to disconnect from distractions. This isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, because that moment rarely comes. It's about deciding that no matter how busy life gets, you will honor this time. It might be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or longer. The key is consistency. The mind learns through repetition and habit. When stillness is non-negotiable, the brain adapts and begins to crave that calm. During this time, focus on your breathing, the sensations in your body, or simply being present without judgment. Don't try to force thoughts away or chase after new ideas. Instead, observe your mind gently. Notice when it wanders and bring it back to your breath or focus point. This practice rewires the brain to stay calm and centered instead of spinning out. The benefits of this daily stillness are profound. Physically, it lowers stress hormones, reduces blood pressure, and boosts overall health. Mentally, it enhances focus, creativity, and emotional regulation. Spiritually, it builds a deep connection to your true self, the part of you that is steady and unshaken. In the chaos of everyday life, stillness becomes a powerful reset button. When you feel overwhelmed or reactive, tapping into this habit restores balance quickly. It becomes a safe place to return to, a mental refuge that no one can take away. Many struggle with guilt or impatience when they try stillness because the world rewards constant action and noise. However, this mindset is exactly what causes burnout and breakdown. Stillness trains the mind to work smarter, not harder. It allows energy to rebuild and perspective to deepen. Another important aspect is learning to carry the sense of stillness into your daily activities. It's one thing to sit quietly for a few minutes, but the true power lies in living with a still mind amid movement. This means responding instead of reacting, listening fully instead of interrupting, and working with calm focus instead of scattered stress. Stillness also sharpens your ability to notice early warning signs of stress or distraction. When you practice daily, you become more sensitive to subtle shifts in mood or tension. This awareness lets you address small problems before they spiral, maintaining peace for longer periods. The habit of stillness builds resilience. Life will throw challenges, uncertainty, and pressure your way. When stillness is embedded in your daily routine, you face these moments with a centered mind and open heart. You don't get pulled under by emotions or lose your sense of direction. This mental habit also deepens gratitude and joy. When the mind slows down, you notice small blessings and moments of beauty that often go unseen. This shifts your outlook from scarcity and stress to abundance and appreciation. Making stillness non-negotiable requires intentional commitment. It might mean waking up a little earlier, turning off devices for a moment, or saying no to some distractions. Setting a specific time and place helps reinforce the habit. Maybe it's before breakfast, during a break, or right before bed. Whatever fits your life, the key is protecting that time as sacred. The first days or weeks may feel uncomfortable as your mind resists quiet. Thoughts will race, and restlessness will try to pull you away. This is normal. The difference between those who become unshakable and those who remain reactive is persistence through that discomfort. Over time, the benefits compound. Stillness becomes a natural part of your daily rhythm. You build a mental fortress where distractions bounce off and anxiety loses power. This habit rewires your brain to prioritize peace and presence over chaos and reaction. Imagine going through a difficult conversation, stressful deadline, or unexpected challenge with this habit firmly in place. Your mind remains steady, your emotions balanced, and your decisions clear. This is the power of stillness practiced daily. This is not about escaping life but mastering it. Stillness creates the space where your true strength lives. The ability to respond wisely, think clearly, and feel deeply without being overwhelmed. The mind that embraces daily stillness doesn't chase every thought or worry. Instead, it rests in a quiet confidence. It learns to pause, breathe, and return to calm no matter what happens. This is the core of ruling your mind and becoming unshakable. Every moment spent in stillness is an investment in your mental health and emotional freedom. It is the foundation on which all other habits of calm and control are built. When stillness is non-negotiable, you no longer drift with every distraction or react to every trigger. You choose how to engage with the world, holding your center through any storm. The strength gained from stillness is not flashy or loud. It is quiet, steady, and unwavering. It is the power to stand firm within yourself, regardless of outside circumstances. This power changes everything about how you live, work, and relate to others. Stillness is the daily practice of ruling your mind, not allowing it to be ruled by chaos or noise. It is a simple habit with extraordinary impact. Without it, peace remains out of reach. With it, unshakable calm becomes your natural state.